I was going through the economic survey report published by the Ministry of Finance. A few statistics about MSMEs intrigued me. From there, I dived deeper and found more information about MSME lending infrastructure. In the section where they talk about MSMEs, they open with great numbers. There are more than 7 crore 30 lakh registered MSMEs in the country. That contributes to more than 30% of our country's GDP. They account for a total of 35% of manufacturing output in the country. They are responsible for around 48% of the country's exports. MSMEs totally employ around 32 crore people in the country. They are the second largest employer after agriculture. While they fuel for the country's economic growth, a 2025 World Bank report tells that 27% of Indian MSME's main blocker or obstacle is access to credit. This is not something only World Bank agrees. Even RBI agrees that only 19% of MSMEs have access to formal credit. More than 80% of MSMEs don't have access to formal credit. We are looking at a gap of 80 lakh crore rupees. Out of the 19%, top 8% of the MSMEs get 76% of the credit. The question you might have is, why does this happen? Banks require collateral for loan, but 64% of the MSMEs don't have any collateral. And 70% of the MSMEs don't have previous credit history. If you don't have collateral and if you don't have previous credit history, it is very difficult for banks to trust you to provide loans. Fortunately, the landscape is changing. It is changing due to many private players entering the space. By private players, I mean private banks and NBFCs. In the MSME lending space, 43% of the credit is provided by private banks. 24% is provided by the government banks. NBFCs are at only 11% now, but if we see the last 3-year record, it is growing at a rate of 19%. As I mentioned previously, 64% of the MSMEs don't have collateral. So the landscape is changing in a way that the banks have started providing unsecured loans. They have started lending based on cash flow instead of assets. In addition to lacking collateral and previous credit history, MSME's prepayment schedule is also very risky. Banks see them as high risk. If a bank see a person or a company or an institution as high risk while lending, the interest rates are also higher. Surprisingly, the situation is improving. Comparing to 2020 and now, MSMEs are paying back their loans at better rates. In fact, non-performing assets, as in the loans which aren't getting paid, was at 4% at 2020 and now it is at only 1.8%, which means the unpaid loan rate has halved. By seeing these improvements, Reserve Bank of India has introduced ULI, Unified Lending Interface, which is a digital platform to provide loans to MSMEs. By now, RBI has disbursed 1.6 lakh loans to MSMEs. If the situation is getting better, why do we still have a credit gap of 80 lakh crores? There are a few problems that only credit can't solve. One of the main problem is the ecosystem. The ecosystem is a mess. Customs clearance for exports take at an average of 31.5 days in India, while comparing to other Asian countries, it is only 7.4 days. As I previously said, MSMEs contribute to 48% of India's export economy. And if we don't provide faster clearances for exports, how will they earn money? Let's address the elephant in the room: delayed payments. An estimated 8.1 lakh crore rupees is stuck in delayed payments for MSMEs. Even though banks are trying to provide loans to MSMEs based on cash flow, when there is a delayed payment, how can they provide loans to MSMEs? So this is a huge problem. The economic survey report clearly states that if we solve this credit problem, we can unlock a 40 lakh crore production capacity with MSMEs in India. The 80 lakh crore gap is not a banking problem. It is a systemic problem, starting from logistics, exports, sales, marketing, and everywhere in the MSME sales cycle. If you like these kind of videos, hit that subscribe button. If you had tried accessing loan as a MSME, tell us your experience in the comments below. See you in the next one.